Hello UK fans, Matarant here, and welcome to a joint first deck profile for Infernoid from the Leeds LLDS 2015. And it'll be followed by a tournament report by me. So yeah, we'll go on to the deck profile in a minute. There was only 18 participants at the actual event. So yeah, it wasn't the biggest event, but it's still an LLDS. All the entries were very good, and it was very fun. wasn't very identified with all the meta, because there was at least one of every meta except from Shadow and the Ritual Beast. But there was a lot of pseudo meta, a lot of decks that have been getting hyped at the present moment. Infernoid, PSY-Frame, Yangzing, and Cosmo, they all did good over the day. And some surprising decks, which you will find out in the tournament report. But yeah, we'll go to the deck profile. Unfortunately, the aspect ratio isn't very good. It's unfortunate because I have to have this, and this creates the aspect ratio, so it will distort the other ones. And I caused out with that one, so yeah, it's going to be cut slightly at one of the sides, but that's the side you don't really need to see, and a little bit of the extra deck side, a little bit of the side deck is cut off a tiny bit at the bottom, but that's about it. So yeah, let's go on to the deck profile. So this is the Infernoid build I ran at the LLDS at Leeds. So yeah, this I should mention that it's a stage 1 event, it's not stage 2 event. Just go into that beforehand. People will be thinking, why is the stage 2 event got that little turnout? Okay, so we have 1 Infernoid Nunsu and 2 Deviati. Originally, I was going to go into it with 2 Nunsu, 1 Deviati, but I have been growing very impatient of the fact that I always seem to need Deviati more than a Nunsu. So a last minute decision to switch one with the other actually benefited me very greatly. Inferno Deviati was an MVP of the day for me. It was so clutch against Cosmo, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm thankful I didn't have 2 Nunsus since I didn't go against Klee, so I didn't need to house out. So yeah, Inferno Deviati, so amazing. Everyone knows what Infernos do by now. If you're new to it, Dark Hole effect, and also a negation of a spell, trap, or effect, which did come up actually once during the day, and that was very good. It negated the PSY-Frame overload, and that was lovely. 2 Deviatis, which are Heavy Storm and a monster effect negator, same thing. 2 Atondal. Usually builds have 3. Most builds you see nowadays will have triple Atondal, but I had the option of either taking out 1 Harmonic, 1 Antra, or 1 Atondal, and I chose Atondal because I don't run the towers out of Galaxy Prime, Photon, Dragon, so I didn't need a triple Atondal, and I'm thankful I did. The Antro, which I was going to be the other choice I was going to take out, was very good during the day, whereas Atondal only came out once or twice and I didn't really need it. Next is triple Sightsamus. Sightsamus was brilliant over the day, great against Yangzings, and it did a lot of work. It's my favourite Infernoid. Wish it was a higher rarity, but yeah, it was so good, so good. Triple Petrulia, great to give me access to PSY-Frame Lord Omega and its MST. This one has a double attack, and this one banishes cards on the field. 2 Raidens, these also give me more access to Omega, which is always my first turn play nowadays. It's just so amazing. So Raiden was quite good. It allows me to run charged in the deck, and I'm growing to love him so much. Triple Harmonic, only just added a new Harmonic into the build because it got reprinted, but now I'm not 100% sure of Harmonic. It did happen to help at points, but I would want to have a Harmonic in deck so I can use Decatron, so I can pan it with another Harmonic. Well, pan it with Petrulia, and then Harmonic with Decatron with Petrulia. So those ones just give me a perfect Omega access there. 1 Card Trooper. Originally, when I first started my Inferno series, which you can check out on my channel, I had Card Trooper in. It was a slower, more unsteady version, no Raidens, but after a while I took Card Trooper out, and I put him back in recently because at YCS Dallas he was running like 7 targets for reasoning, which sounds mad to me. But he's always been playing at 4 or 5 targets at max. This was the first time I ever played at 6 targets, and it's increased the consistency a hell of a lot. He definitely knows what he was doing. The Card Trooper was great. I put him back in for that reason, and yeah, so happy with that. Triple Antra, which is another MVP of the day, like the 4th MVP out of all the MVPs I had. It was only 4, unfortunately. Antra was great. It bounced back so much. I even bounced back into Deb at one point because I didn't want it in the graveyard, so I didn't have to banish it, didn't have to waste resource. So that was funny, and Antra always helped. It came in clutch for most things. There's one time where I wish I had it, but it never came out. Triple Decatron made the deck so great, but Omega makes it perfect. So happy with Decatron, and yeah, Decatron gives easy access to Omega. 2 Peer Mace. You'll see most decks running 1 Peer Mace. Peer Mace is brilliant. It's based off Satan. It's absolutely gorgeous, and its effect is very powerful. Most decks don't have much back row, but there are decks that do. And when you come against them, you wish you have a Peer Mace. That's why I have 2 of them in there. Just something good to bounce back their cards, more likely to have it in my hand. Works well with Andrew if I'm going for a turn 1 Omega play. And yeah, it's so good. People think I would only be running 1, so it's good. And it also gives me an option to have a card to easily take out for signing. So yeah, on to spells. We have 1 for 1. It's a standard spell in Infernoid now with Decatron because it easily gives access to Decatron. 2 Galaxy Cyclones. They didn't really help me today. I did use them, but I didn't use the banishment effect, unfortunately. I did use it the day before at locals, but not at the actual day in question. So yeah, Galaxy Cyclones were never that good, and I always signed them out of my MSTs. Next, 1 Regeki. I got it off twice, so that was fun. 1 Monster Gate, I got that off a couple of times as well. We all know Monster Gate should really be at 3, but ban list still hasn't come out. Triple Reasoning. Reasoning came up quite a lot during the top cuts, but didn't come up much again in the Swiss. So yeah, it's great, but it never showed up as much as I needed it. Rekindling, I used that once, so I didn't really need to, but it's still a good card. I've put it back in, and I still enjoy it. So it's better than Torrential Tribute technically at this point. 2 Charge, this was good. I got this quite a lot in the Swiss. I didn't get much in the top cut, so yeah, that was fine. It was like the replacement for Reasoning, and it helped quite a lot during the day. And such as riders are so good. 2 Void Seer, perfect card. I adore this card. I wish I had room for 3, but I can't. So yeah, there's one point in the day where I definitely wish I had 3 because I didn't mill it, even though I milled most of my deck. But yeah, Void Seer, so good. And the banishment effect is perfection. Next is Burial from a Different Dimension, to put back my banished monsters, and that's very good. Very good. By the way, this is like the infestation pandemic protected from other card effects. This mills, this is MST, and then more mills and special summons. Yeah, I forgot to say what they are. And those MSTs, those are monster destruction, those are compulse, and those are back row shuffle back. And then finally, 1 Skill Drain. Skill Drain has been in my deck since I saw the result at YCS Perini, I think it was. Perini, maybe? The one in Italy, where an Infernoid deck got top 16, and he was running Skill Drain. So I tried it out. It was absolutely brilliant. This technically sets my deck apart from most of the all the Inferno decks I will actually play that day, because none of them were running Skill Drain. Some of them may actually now run Skill Drain. I think the one or two of them said that. Well, one of them said that, I think. So yeah, skill drain. Everyone knows what skill drain does. It doesn't hurt this deck too much. It came up clutching it in locals the day before because it actually helped me so much against the PSY-Frame matchup. But yeah, didn't kill off at the actual day, unfortunately. And for the extra deck, really there should just be one extra deck card. That's PSY-Frame Lord Omega. Unfortunately, the imagery is not on Salvation at the second. They're getting that massive update, so the imagery has to be moved around, etc., etc. So yeah, so everyone knows what PSY-Frame Lord Omega does by now, but I'll just go quickly through the effect. Once per turn, during either player's main phase, it can banish itself on one random card in your opponent's hand face up until the end of your next standby phase, which is very good. I used that effect quite a few times to tag out, especially when they drop a Regeki or Dark Hall. The second effect, during your opponent's standby phase, you can tag one banish card and return it to the graveyard. That resolved a hell of a lot of times. There was once or twice where it didn't get resolved, which is sad. And then its final effect, when it is in the graveyard, you can tag one other card in either player's graveyard and return those cards to the decks. So that was also good. It actually helped me in the top four, so that was fun. Yes. Also in one of my other matchups, I think it was round 4 matchup, which you can see in the tournament report. Next, the only other card I used in the actual extra deck throughout the day was Crimson Blader. That was in round 1. So yeah, didn't use anything else, but I'll just quickly go through them. Star Eater, Towers out. Leo, Burning Abyss out. Scrap Archfiend, Vanilla. Clearwing, Synchro Dragon, Shaddoll, and Necros out. Black Rose Dragon, Nuke. Gaia Knight, another Vanilla. Felgrand to protect against Regeki, but I feel like I may drop this. Dracosac again, protect against Regeki. Probably going to drop this. Number 11 Big Eye, Snatch Steal. Gemini Pearl, another generic. Castell, I had a point where I could have summoned Castell or an External Pearl, but I just didn't need to. Technically, I could actually summon Shockmaster as well if I had it. Oh, poor TCG not having that. But yeah, Castell never came out either. But it's staple, and Exciton's staple, and Dante, yeah, I never had any chance to bring him out during the day, and I never wanted to either. Probably going to cut him or Dracosac or Felgrand. Not sure what I'm going to put back in. Don't think I need a second Omega. I did have one chance in which I could have made a second Omega, but I returned to the extra deck anyway to make it. So it resupplies so much, and it's very good. Onto the side deck. So since there wasn't much meta to actually go against, I didn't use quite a few of these sides, which to the full extent that they would have been done. But I'll go through them anyway. There was some that were very clutch and very awesome, and some that I sided every game. So yeah, let's go on to that. We've got Chaos Hunter, that was going to be siding against Ritual Beast, Infernoid, and Necros. They never got seen play, so that was sad. But Chaos Hunter is a very powerful card for the side deck of this deck. Can't wait to be playing End of Anubis in Gradle format, so that'll be good. Next, Lila, Lightsworn Sorceress, sided in every game because Imperial Iron Wall is a thing. And same for the MSTs. These usually replace the Galaxy Cyclones, and one of my riders will replace with Lila, or depending if the matchup was not going to gain any applicability with Skill Drain, I may take out my Card Trooper, but I didn't. I usually took out a Raiden just to give me a little bit more versatility. Next, 2 Mischief the Looms. This was very good. I put it in against Talonite matchup, but unfortunately never saw play. It would have been great against Talonites, Clownblade, and Necros, but nope, not seen play. Breakthrough Skill, I tried this in once, but I never saw it, and it wasn't very good, but I still need in the extra deck anyway. 2 Mistake, I tried that in once, and I only saw it once, but it got MST'd, so it didn't help. But everyone knows Mistake is awesome, and everyone knows why Mistake is in there. We don't need to go into that. Next, Soul Drain, which was for Burning Abyss, and Shaddoll, but never saw play either. 2 Rivalries, they were good as well, if they had to come out. These were mainly my Cosmo out, and any deck like Shaddoll or Clownblade, which uses multiple types. and unfortunately they never came out. So yeah, I may be dropping rivalries in the future because Cosmo gains more control over the psychic and machine type switching around. So yeah, rivalry may come out then. Oh, so tired. Next, to Chivalry. Chivalry was my MVP of my side deck. It was so good. It's my Cosmo and PSY-Frame out, which I will go into more in depth in a future video coming out this week. So keep an eye out for that. But Chivalry basically stops the effect monster effects during battle phase by negating them and destroying them. It's a counter trap, so they need something like White Tap or Dark Ride to negate it. So yeah, that helped very much. And same for Debunk, but this is more specific for PSY-Frame than the Cosmo. But there's also Mermail about around the areas, so that could have happened, and I had an option for that. So yeah, this is basically my staple build for this deck. I used it, I enjoyed it. There's not much stuff I would have took out, mainly in the extra deck with Dante, Drakazak, and Velgrand, and in the side deck probably Rivalries. But apart from that, I enjoyed it. Everything helped, and the main deck was more or less perfect now. Everything I want to keep at that, and it all helped. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that deck profile. And now onto the tournament report. So yeah, there was 18 entries into the LLDC or DS. God, so tired. But yeah, they were very good duelists. I enjoyed every game I played against them, and this is the breakdown. There wasn't much representation of my meta, at least one for every deck except from Shadol. There was no Shadol players there. None of the resident ones were there except for me and another friend. But we were both playing different decks during that day, so yeah, no Shadols and no Ritual Beasts either, so yeah, they weren't there at all. But mainly it was a massive success for the future, well, not future meta, pseudo meta, I should say, which were Infernoid, PSY-Frame, Cosmo, and Yangzing. They all did great during the day, and they had decent representation throughout. Infernoid and PSY-Frame were the most represented out of all the decks. PSY-Frame did have 2 pures. Well, it could be 1 pure, but I'm pretty sure there was a third PSY-Frame duelist. So 2 pures and 1 Yosenju build. And I think there is a second Cosmo build. I don't know the other 2 decks. But this was mainly the ones. So we had 3 Infernoid, 3 PSY-Frame, 1 Burning Abyss, 1 Clown Blade, 1 Fire Kings, which was very unexpected, 1 Gravekeepers, which isn't as unexpected, Cosmo, 2 Cosmo, 1 Necros, 1 Tellarknight, 1 Cleaver, and 1 Yangzing. So yeah, that was basically the lineup, and it was very fun to go against them. So on to my rounds. First I was Swiss, and my round 1 was against Fire Kings. The really unexpected deck out of the day. Didn't expect anyone to be running Fire Kings. Completely threw me off. I didn't know how to play game 1 very effectively. Game 2, I had more control over the game, but yeah, game 1 he drew 2 onslaughts and he had an instant fusion access, so he had quite good control over the duel. But I was eventually able to out him with a lot of banishment and running over Garunix with a tunnel. So that was fun. And instant fusion bringing out Castell. He wanted to bring out 101, but he didn't have it in his extra deck, so that kind of blew up in his face. But it wouldn't have helped that much anyway. It just would have saved him a couple of life points. So yeah, he went for Castell instead, and he went for Rhapsody, which was the second best play a person did against me to actually out my Infernoids completely, except from the Imperial Iron Wall generic stuff. So yeah, number 80 Rhapsody was very, very unexpected and so bad, but bad for me. But I did draw it out next turn, so that was painful for him. Minor milling occurred, charge and Rightton. Game 2, I had quite a lot of control, but I was still cautious. I didn't know if he could have a surprise problem for me, so I couldn't play exactly how I would usually play, more aggressive. So I had to be cautious. I took a lot of beatings down from this, beatings down by a load of level 4s, and then going into ranks, going to those Exceed monsters, negating Tiger King at one point, and banishing him. So yeah, instant fusion happened as well. And minor mills from charging Raiden. At the end point, he had Exciton on the field. He nuked the field, but unfortunately, he couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything more. I summoned an Antra, bounced the monster back, and then I brought out one of my big guys and won the game 2-0. So yeah, that was very fun. On to round 2. It was Cosmo. I thought it was out. I really did when I saw Cosmo, because yeah, Cosmo is very powerful and can be unpredictable in this current climate. Game 1, I had a dead hand. Nothing could be done with it. I passed, and he started out with Farm Girl, and that led to the complete destruction of me over 2 turns. 2 of his turns, I should say. Game 2, he drew dead. He didn't have any level 5 targets or higher, so he couldn't tag out with his Cosmo monsters. He was trying to beat down, and I had minor mills during the time rather than charge. They helped, but I was able to make a first turn Omega and a Tondel, and I beat him down that way, and he just didn't draw into what he needed. Game 3 was Mass Negation. It was a turn 1 Deviati play, which was very good. I could just try and take control of the duel there, and it proved permanent. Deviati stayed throughout the whole game. It was the perfect MVP for this duel, except for one other card, which I will go into second. Minor mills from Lila and Charge, because I went to Lila this time. And when he did have an out, he was destroying one of my defensive monsters, and then he was going to tag out with Farm Girl to get a defense. I used Chivalry and negated Farm Girl and destroyed her, and then Deviati attacked the game. So yeah, Chivalry MVP side deck card, and Deviati MVP for main deck. So yeah, game 3, it was Yang Zing. Very good. It was very unexpected, but this is always a good matchup for me. I always enjoy Yang Zing games. Game 1, he brought out indestructible Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, which was annoying because I had to keep banishing cards to keep my monsters on board. But when you leave a monster on board that can't be really killed, it gives me free Saitama's control. I banished everything surrounding that Moonlight Rose Dragon, and then I used Antra to bounce it back to the extra deck, which was funny. 8,000 life points throughout the game, so yeah, that's good. Game 2, he bricked, unfortunately. He opened it with Necro Valley and Mask Restrict, but then a full set of back row. And that wasn't good because I opened it with Lila and Petrulia, just out as 2 outs, and yeah, not good. Lila's mills were very funny though. 2 reasonings and 1 charge were milled, which was hilarious. And then I drew the second charge afterwards, so yeah, loads of hacks happening there. But yeah, it was so funny. Very good. Saitama's control again, so good. And 8,000 life points again, so I had full control of the duel. Okay, on to round 4, which was Gravekeepers. The really unexpected matchup at this point in the round. They did very well. They were 3-0 when I was 3-0, so that was good to go against. Game 1, he opened it with Necro Valley, and I didn't open it with exact outs, but I opened up with something to take control of the game, because I banished from the hand, so that was good. And I summoned from the graveyard, I banished from the hand, so that was also good. And eventually out in Necro Valley and won the game. There's nothing really clutch that was happening in that game. But in game 2, there was him setting 4 as his first play, and that tempted my Deviati so much that he came out. I summoned Deviati turn 1, and he finished chained, and I chained my Void Seer. And then he chained Dark Bribe. I didn't expect Dark Bribe. I haven't been Dark Bribed in months, maybe a year. So, quite funny. But the funnier part was the Dark Bribe's draw was Card Trooper and then Card Trooper give me some mills. Void Seer would come up a bit later. Card Trooper's death led to Raiden giving me more mills, and he was then able to top deck a Pod Duality, which went into a Fossil Diner, and this is when Void Seer became clutch, because when I used my Atondal, which was the final beating down monster, to kill it, he flipped over his Fossil Diner, I banished Void Seer, and then I could attack for game. He was surprised about Void Seer, because some people don't know that Void Seer effect, especially in damage step, it is applicable. So, yeah, very funny, and it was very good matchup. I really enjoyed the duel. I enjoyed every duel I did over the day. Every opponent was so good. So, yeah, I won that 2-0. At that point, I was 4-0 in Swiss, and there's only 5 rounds. So, I think that more or less gave me knowledge I was going to be in top 8. The final round was PSY-Frame Senju. I believe he was either 3-1 or 4-0 at that point. I think it's more likely 3-1 because I believe he lost the matchup to, I believe it was Tellarknights. At one point, it was a different deck. I don't know which deck exactly, but it wasn't one he went against later on. PSY-Frame Senju was not expected. I saw it at one point, but I didn't know it was him, so I went on game 1 very stupidly to go into a slow plays. I set Raiden to not activate an alpha, but he brought out Camera 1 and run it over, and that was so bad. Didn't realise, and the game just wasn't progressing from that point on. He just beat me down with Camera 1. Game 2 was better, because I had learned from game 1, because he used PSY-Frame Overload, and I used a non-suit to negate and banish it. He didn't know he did it on an effect, so that was funny. And Infernoid Nunsu beat down very much, which was very good. I had quite a lot of control over the duel. And a random note that I did not know Chicken Game could not activate or respond to its actual effects, which is what I learned now. Not that it came up, but it was just something pointed out to me, and that was funny to see. And yeah, my counter traps proved to be very fatal in that duel, because I debunked his Gamma, and Chivalry got me the game once again, with that beta trying to come out. And then finally game 3. He wised up to my counter trap strategy and used Wiretap on debunk on a point where I needed it so much with my Anunsu, and then mass Camera Swarm. 5 cameras came out and no life points were left remaining. He won it 2-1, so yeah, it was a fun duel nonetheless. He was great to duel against me. He did not like the point where I was looking at my hand and my graveyard at the same point. I was getting a bit too close. But apart from that, that's the only grievance anyone had with me over the day, so yeah. But it's understandable. I would think the same if I was seeing the same thing. So yeah, on to the top 8 matchup, which was Tellarknights. He was new to the matchup, unfortunately, so he didn't play to the best visibility. Should have gone for Diamond, but he didn't have real chance or real actual applicability to do it, because I had already milled by that time, and I could out Diamond instantly, to be honest. He went for Abyss Dweller, as quite a few of those new to the matchup of Infernoid do, so yeah, that wasn't good. But continuous banishment of Denebs, he had no real targets for Altair except from Altairs, and they can't be targets, so yeah, I had full control of the duel. Game 2, full control. He didn't know. He did put in the Imperial Iron Wall, but he asked me beforehand during game 1 if Imperial Iron Wall helped, and I did actually say yes, because I'm not gonna cheat my opponent out of knowing that a typical side card does actually work against me, and yeah. That was at least a nice point for me to do. So continuous banishment again. Didn't let him have any real plays. He got Excite on Night. That's his final play, because he was kind of backed into a corner and he wasn't exactly sure what to do. So Excite was a decent play, but I answered it back and then attacked the game. So yeah, I won 2-0 again. And Tellarknights, it was never a good matchup for him from the beginning. But I expect to see good things from him because this was his first event, and he did very good. So yeah, on to the top 4. It was a Yangzing rematch. Yeah, you didn't expect that, did you? Yeah, Yangzings did pretty well. They were one of the top 4, so that was very surprised. I'm very surprised it was. But he was very good. He was a very good Yangzing player. I started out on game 1 with double reasoning, which led to the most funniest duel out of all my duels, which I nearly decked out because all my reasoning targets were at the bottom, and I just couldn't get them out. And then this is where the point I had an option to go for a Shockmaster if I had one. So yeah, that kind of tried to do it, but didn't get it, unfortunately, because there's no Shockmaster. So I went for Omega, and he had a Regeki again. I frequently summoned that Deviati during that duel, used a lot of graveyard resource. He saw number 1 in one of them, but I had quite a lot of control. I banished his Vantage Emptiness with Omega to turn 1, so his only out was outed. Game 2, I did not draw any. I did draw reasoning, but I didn't draw any access to Antra or Nunsu, unfortunately. So yeah, he brought out Abil's turn 1. It's his first turn, and that kind of just killed me. I didn't have any outs to it. That's about it. Fast beatdown. Game 3, I opened up with double reasoning again. Yeah, this was the first duel I opened up with reasoning so much, but it was the first duel I ever opened up, first match I ever opened up with double reasoning. So, it was in twice, I should say. So, that was so funny. Should mention that he did shuffle my deck, so it's not like I was cheating, man. No hacks from me. So, yeah, onto that. I just had control with Sidesmith to banish those cards, and then I brought out Deviati and Decatron, and out swing for game, 8,000 life points once again, and it was a great matchup. I really enjoyed that duel, and I won 2-1. And then the final match, as you know, it was a split, so we just split because it was 6 p.m. We both had trains to go to, we didn't want to wait an extra 2 hours. Well, actually, a bit, nearly 3 hours, so yeah, that was not very enticing, so we just split, and yeah, that's how I came joint first. And he was playing PSY-Frame Senju. It was my Swiss matchup from round 5, so yeah, I didn't think I was going to win the duel anyway, and yeah, I had really a lot of fun over the day, lovely duels, and yeah, I thought I'd tell you this. I'm sorry I didn't actually mention that I was going to be playing an LLDS the week before, 2 weeks before. I wasn't 100% sure I was going because of funds and stuff, but that's all fixed now. So yeah, my MVPs for the day were Infernoid Deviati, PSY-Frame Lord Omega, Chivalry, and Infernoid Antra, which is not down there. So yeah, I enjoyed my day, and yeah, so much fun. My first time with Infernoid in a really competitive sense, and it did well. It really did well. Could have gone for Shadows, but my meta matchups never were good for Shadows, to be honest. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, even though I've been rambling on. No music this time because the music, I did this original recording beforehand, and the music kind of killed it, so yeah, we had to re-record it. But I enjoyed this so much, and happy that it happened. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, random thing that came out. And yeah, if you stuck through it to the end, thank you very much. So yeah, please leave a comment below your suggestions for my decks in general, or suggestions for my channel in general. Anything I could have changed from this. I will be doing a new series on how to tackle meta decks and pseudo meta decks, and that will be starting up this week, which I'll be recording tomorrow and probably be up tomorrow. So look out for that, and there'll be a lot more for other decks that are getting updated throughout the week. And the week after that, I believe, is Halloween, or the week of Halloween. I'll be doing a Halloween themed week. So Shiranui Zombies, there may be an Infernoid duel in there as well. Maybe a pure Shiranui build, and then something that you guys want to see. If it has some relation to Halloween or ghoulishness, anything you like, if there's no comments, I'll just do ghost tricks. But yeah, this is so fun, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So yeah, please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see further content. Likes are always appreciated. So yeah, thank you for watching. Matt Morant, signing out.